Good news about the ecology seems to be pretty rare these days, but recently, because of conservation efforts in Nepal, there's been some great news about the Bengal tiger. So a bit of background. The country of Nepal is nestled between China to its north and India to its south. Nepal occupies a rectangular region along the southern border of the Himalayan mountains. These mountains make up its northern border, and the rugged mountain valleys extend across the majority of Nepalese territory. But where these mountain valleys taper to an end as they near Nepal's southern border, there opens up broad, flat regions of subtropical coniferous and broadleaf forests and tropical savannas. Nepal has turned much of this region into national preserves, known as the Terai Arc landscape. These forests and savanna on the southern regions of Nepal are the home of tigers, Bengal tigers, who were dominant regional predators for millennia until humans evolved sufficient tools and strategies to hunt them down. As human civilization developed the land, the tigers' habitats were fractured and they shrank in size. Poachers hunted them for their meat, for their beautiful exotic fur, and for their bones and fearsome fangs, and even for the story that the poacher could tell to his friends. At the beginning of the 20th century, there were approximately 100,000 tigers across the world, but by the end of the 20th century, their populations had been obliterated. 95% were hunted or otherwise killed by human activity, and by 2010, just 9 years ago, there were only 3,200 wild tigers that remained. In an effort to save this charismatic megafauna, this elegant and symbolic predator, Nepal has initiated several conservation efforts. The Terai Arc landscape and all of the nature preserves therein were intended to preserve the remaining tiger habitats, which were suffering from fragmentation, or splintering. Basically, the tigers were being isolated in small pocket habitats, disconnected from each other thanks to roads and urban development cutting through the landscape. The whole plan for the Terai Arc landscape was to have these habitat fragments become connected through corridors. The plan is to build landscape corridors that connect most, if not all, of the habitats into one continuous region that's reasonably safe for tiger migration. This will enable tigers to reach new populations and to interbreed, which means that they can avoid the effects of inbreeding, and they can begin generating more genetic diversity. It'll improve their gene pool as a whole, and this, in turn, will lead to more fertile adults who have more cubs, and the cubs themselves will be healthier and more likely to survive adolescence. In 2010, Nepal participated in the TX2 program, which was a World Wildlife Fund initiative to double the wild tiger population by 2022. And the news that I want to report to you today is that Nepal is reporting that they have, in early 2019, almost doubled their populations of wild tigers because of these conservation efforts. In 2009, an initial survey found 121 tigers in the tropical and subtropical areas of Nepal. A survey in 2013 found 198 tigers. One in 2016 found 210 tigers, and the most recent survey, performed later in 2018, identified 235 tigers, which is a 94.2% increase across the decade. This is just awesome. This is really awesome. Nepal is on track to meet or exceed its goals in the TX2 program before 2022, which is incredible. Seriously, it really is incredible. It's the first time that a species of charismatic megafauna that's been hurtling towards extinction has been able to enjoy such an intense regeneration of its population thanks to these conservation efforts. Now, I should also mention that this wouldn't be possible without the determination and the commitment of partners like India, who are integrating their nature reserves with Nepal's to create an even larger continuous habitat. These are long-term plans, as the wildlife preserves and the corridors connecting them will have to be protected and allowed to thrive in perpetuity. Ghana Gurung works for the World Wildlife Fund as a representative in Nepal, He was very proud of Nepal's success, and he said, quote, "The challenge now is to continue these efforts to protect their habitats and numbers for the long-term survival of the tigers," unquote.